Hello, my people. It's my hope that you are well and that you are doing well. Welcome to Finance Focus with Andrew, a platform where we get to engage in conversation that endeavor to enhance our financial literacy. And welcome to this live session. And I have a very interesting topic this evening. I like it when we are talking about finance in relation I like it when we are talking about finances in connection to a very young person because I know this young person has a very big potential. They are still so young. They can still take advantage of. I'm saying I like it when talking about finances in connection to a very young person because this is a person I know that they still have the advantage of time. They can still do a lot with the resources that they have, with the much time that they have. And today, as the title suggests, we are talking about a money letter that can fit a 24-year-old young man. And I wouldn't say that it is my letter to a young man who is 24 years. Maybe I'll do my own letter when I advance in age. I will do a letter to my 24. Okay, I will do a letter detailing what I would say to a 24-year-old man. But this is someone else's advice that I'm reading. A young man who is 24 years who came seeking advice in the internet on what they can do to ensure that they do good financially. And it is a young man whom I feel have started their life so well with ambition. And if they go with the same mood that they are doing right now, they might have a good finance life. When you check at the note at which they have started, it's a very good mentality. It's a very good note, and let's dive direct into the scenario we have. I always say that I like reading the Saturday Nation because it offers some finance scenarios and the expert advice, and it is the expert advice that I like most because it is. You might think you know it all until you hear an expert talk about it, or you hear someone give a very different perspective of that one thing that you thought you know everything about. So we have a young man who is saying, I'm 24, earning 30,000. How do I save and invest safely in high yield investment? I want to give a big congrats to this young man because he has already started thinking about saving and investing at the age of 24. A majority of the 24-year young men think they have all the time in this world, and saving and investing is nowhere near their vocabulary. Saving and investing might not be anywhere close to the things they plan doing, but this 24-year-old man is already thinking of investing and saving. So I'm 24 year earning 30,000. How much do I save to how do I save and invest safely in high yield investments? So let's get to read the scenario or to have a deeper understanding of this young man. So my name is John. I'm 24 years old who recently started a remote job as junior web developer, earning 30,000 per month. Since I live with my parents in Limuru, my expenses are very minimal. I have so far saved 120,000 in a money market fund account, and I plan to invest at least half of my net salary, that is 13,500 after taxes. Although I'm open to saving or investing all available funds to maximize growth, I'm seeking your expert advice on how and where to invest this money correctly in order to build a long-term wealth as I mature more into adulthood and take on more adult responsibilities. I would also like to know what types of returns to expect. My goals are to grow my savings safely while exploring higher return options as I gain experience. I'm considering SACCOs, treasury bills or unit trust funds, but I'm unsure which are the best for my situation, how they work, and what returns to expect. What strategy and specific investment option would you recommend for someone with my income and risk tolerance? So that is the scenario of the young man. That is the scenario the young man is saving, is facing. And let's dive into the expert advice and get to hear get to hear what they have to say. And one of the advantage that this young man is having, although he is earning a small salary, I would say, allow me to say that he's earning around 30,000. He has the advantage of having some very minimal expenses now that he lives with the parents. Those who already live on their own can tell you the percentage of salary that is taken by the landlord, the amount of money that is taken by expenses such as food, such as traveling. But this young man has the advantage of, okay, still an advantage for now of living with the parents. The other good thing is that this man has kickstarted the savings journey so well, given that he is seeking advice with already 120,000 at hand. So if he was able to do 120,000 before being advised, what kind of money will he be able to save and grow wealth after the advice? The other good thing is that he already have idea of some savings and investment strategy in our financial system, in our Kenyan financial system. We can see him mention about SACCOs, treasury bills, and unit trust funds. Maybe he don't know that a money market fund is part of the unit trust. So maybe he thinks unit trust is something very different, but a money market fund is one of the products under the umbrella of the unit trust. So let's get to hear the finance expert advice. And keep subscribing, keep turning on the notification bell so that you get to be notified anytime we have a session, anytime that we upload a new video, you get to be notified. So subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you don't get to miss any of our financial tips. Now, this is what the expert had to say about this young man. The secret to financial security and wealth accumulation is risk and debt management, which entails being adequately medically insured, paying off short-term loans, and living within your means by establishing a budget and adhering to it. John, you are at the right age of acquiring more skills in web development and niche computer skills, then expand your expertise for more lucrative contracts. You also need to make short, medium, and long-term goals. I commend you for setting the short-term goals of making a budget and building savings. So the most important point there for me is about the need to have short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. You need to categorize your goals in your financial goals in those three categories so that you can kickstart the journey well. Now, with the estimated monthly net earnings of 27,000, you can do better with savings if you budget appropriately. Savings should start the very moment you earn an income. There are people who think that once you start making some money or once you are into employment or business, there is that grace period for which you should enjoy some soft life, then you start saving. But the moment you start enjoying that soft life, leaving that path might take more work than if you started your savings journey immediately. So this is what the finance expert recommends, that savings should start at the very moment you earn an income, and I agree with that. Let's continue. It is recommended that you save at least 10% of your income when you are starting work. As your income increases, you should increase savings to between 15 to 20% of your income. In your case, to truly meet short-term needs that may including having sufficient emergency funds covering at least 6 months of your living expenses, you need to be aggressive. Assuming total expenses amount to half your salary income, you still have 13,000, which is a good amount to grow savings and investment monthly. Joining a circle is recommended. Find one that accommodates the freelancers and the wider formal sector, especially where your colleagues at work are, so that you can guarantee for loans in future. Savings by a circle includes a healthy habit and enhances discipline. So, my take from that paragraph is one. This young man is saying that he don't has a lot of expenses, and that is where he even trying to save half amount of their monthly salary. You see, there is that 50-30-20 rule, budgeting rule, that is highly recommended, that you use 50% of your earnings on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings and investment. But my advice to a young person out there will be save as much as you can, since you have least responsibilities. I believe today, as you think about your life, this is the day that you will have the least financial responsibilities ever in life, because tomorrow you will have more financial responsibilities than you have today. So today is the day that you'll have the least financial responsibilities. Whether you like it or not, tomorrow you'll have more responsibilities. You are a young man. You anticipate to have a family tomorrow. Of course, a family comes with a responsibility. So if you are not able to save while you are single, definitely you won't be able to save anything once you get married, once you start getting kids. Your parents are growing old, and you might wish to help them as they keep approaching the old and inactive years. So your parents are youngest today, so they will be older tomorrow, and you might be needed to chip in more tomorrow than you are chipping in today. So today is the day that you have the least responsibilities. So before you are caught up by responsibilities, don't go with 50-30-20. If possible, save 50% of your income, as this young man is trying. Let's go on with the read. A second monthly savings of 5,000 will earn interest of 6,000 at 10% annual interest in the first year. Doing this consistently for 3 years will add up to 200,000 if interest earned are reinvested. This will allow you up to 3 times loan service your 6-year loan. You may reduce the monthly savings to 3,000 to accommodate the loan repayment should circumstances get tough. Now, you already have exposure to money market. So you already have an exposure to money market funds. You need an emergency fund that equals to at least a year expenses. In your case, this could be at least 200,000. This can be built via a money market fund. An MMF is collective investment scheme that pools funds from institutional and individual investors who all get an equal rate of return. Interest earned depend on the sums invested. Money market funds typically invest in short-term instruments like fixed deposits, fixed deposit accounts, treasury bills, commercial papers, and short-term maturity bonds. The advantage of money market funds is liquidity of the funds, thus easy access to anytime. Withdrawal orders are executed within 2 or 3 days. They are funds for short-term to medium-term goals, and also parking funds with no immediate purpose. Bond funds also provide stable income rates between 12 to 13% per annum. Now, monthly savings of 8,000 in a money market fund can accumulate over 300,000 in 3 years at about 10% annual interest. Alternative investments that are safe but have meaningful returns include treasury and infrastructure bond. With 100,000, investment in an infrastructure bond paying 13% per annual interest, you may receive 6,500 every 6 months for a duration for 6,500 every 6 months for the duration of the bond. You could also invest in high yield NSC listed dividend stocks. Some like BAT and Standard Chartered have dividend yields of 15% and above, subject to share price fluctuations. You can also cash in on capital gains. Learn about stocks, treasury and infrastructure bonds, mutual funds, and low entry barriers. These allow you to focus on your career seeking higher income prospects as you create passive income streams to boost your liquidity. The two, that is a salaried job and a passive income sources, are not mutually exclusive. Medium-term goals like education planning, medical insurance, long-term goals like home ownership, and retirement planning are realities you will have to deal with. You are in the technological field that is evolving daily. Even as you save, prioritize acquisition of and upgrading of your skill set to remain competitive. You can start with some online courses and accreditations even as you aim for formal academic pursuits. So I don't know why I think this expert did not answer this young man quite well. I believe he could have done this in a better way. He could have expounded on the things that the young guy inquired about. He diverted so much, especially when he mentioned about loans. I don't think that was very necessary. But I could say that this 24-year-old man has started the journey quite well, thinking of saving half of the salary, and he already have some of the investment and savings ideas in mind. The best thing that they can do, number one, is to save the maximum amount that they can from their earnings. Number two, whether you have any financial goals, whether you don't have any financial goals, you just save. Regardless of how young you are, you just start saving. Start accumulating funds in that money market fund. Once you get to learn about treasury bonds, once you get to learn about treasury bills, and your money market fund has already accumulated 100,000, dive into that. Take 100,000 from your money market fund, invest in bonds one of these days when they are advertised, and slowly by slowly you'll come to learn the other things such as stocks. By then you'll have matured financially, and you'll be willing and ready to take more and more risk. So you can regret maybe not marrying early, but you can never regret starting saving early enough. So that is it for the young man. For the young man out there, even if you don't have a reason to save, you just save. Your savings might come to save you someday.